What's up, guys? Today on Sports Central, we're going to be going over a college football game preview, and this one's going to be over the 2019 Camping World Bowl between 15 Notre Dame and Iowa State. This should be an interesting one here, of course, in the previous game for both these teams. Notre Dame beat Stanford 45-24, and then Iowa State lost to Kansas State 17-27. Some key stats from these games was Ian Book for Notre Dame, 17 for 30, 255 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Then Brock Purdy for Iowa State, 15 for 30, 185 yards, and 1 touchdown along with that. Iowa State's been kind of a bumpy team, so that kind of concerns me. But yeah, this game's going to be on Saturday, December 28th, noon Eastern time in Orlando, Florida. Spread currently says Notre Dame by 4. ESPN FPI say Notre Dame as well, 67%. So it's pretty confident with that. The Vegas is also saying Notre Dame 34-29. Here's your stat comparison as well for this one. Notre Dame, 37.1 points per game. That is excellent. 18.7 points allowed per game. And they also have 252 pass yards per game, 176 rush yards, and then 163 pass yards and 160 rush yards allowed per game. So this Notre Dame team is very dominant. And I mean, they've got the right schedule. I mean, Notre Dame really is not all that much of a Group of 5 conference team. I know that they're an independent, but I mean, Notre Dame has played a pretty difficult schedule, believe it or not. The record is 10-2 coming into this one. Iowa State, on the other hand, 34.1 points per game, 25.3 points allowed per game, 318 pass yards, 140 rush yards, and they also have 228 pass yards allowed, 133 rush yards allowed per game. Previous 5 games for both these teams on November 30th. Once again, Notre Dame beat Stanford. They also beat Boston College 40-7. They beat number 23 at the time, Navy, 52-20. Huge win there. They beat up Duke big time, 38-7, and they also beat Virginia Tech, a team that's honestly pretty good right now, 21-20. As for Iowa State, it's been a little bit more rough. They lost to Kansas State, 17-27. They beat Kansas 41-31. They beat Texas, number 19 team in the nation at that time, 23-21. They also lost to Oklahoma in a really close game, though. They were very competitive in that one, 41-42. And they lost to Oklahoma State by 1 score, 27-34. So most of Iowa State's losses have come within 1 score or maybe 10 points. Like for Kansas State, it was 10 points. But for Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, it was within a score. And that's how most of their losses have been this entire season. So really, I mean, Iowa State's record is pretty inaccurate. I mean, I know it's 7-5, but honestly, this is a much better team than a 7-5 team. But yeah, once again, Notre Dame is not like a Group of 5 team. Iowa State has lost 3 of their last 5. But then again, I mean, Notre Dame's lost are to Michigan and Georgia, 2 teams that are in the top 15 right now. And I think both of them are in, actually, and I'm wrong on that. But yeah, Notre Dame, I mean, they've played long story short, they've played a pretty difficult schedule. So this Notre Dame team does have experience. This should be a close game, though. I do expect it to be close, but how would each team win? I'd have to say, if Notre Dame can get out early and they can shut down Iowa State offensively and they can shut down Brock Purdy, I think that Notre Dame wins this one. I think, though, Iowa State cannot let Notre Dame get away from them. Iowa State in this case is the underdog, so if they let Notre Dame get away, it could be brutal. But for Iowa State, if they can keep close and they can win a close game, I don't think Iowa State would be able to win in a blowout. But I think Iowa State's going to be able to hang on. I think Iowa State's going to do something crazy. I'm going to do something absolutely psycho right now. I'm going to say Iowa State's going to win this one. And I mean, it's bowl season, and there are tons of upsets that happen, and I think this is going to be one of your bigger upsets of this entire bowl season. Halftime score will be 17-14 Notre Dame, so Iowa State will keep it close. I think it's going to be a very close game throughout this entire thing. But your final score will be 28-24. Iowa State, I'm pulling them to take the upset here. This would be crazy big for Iowa State and their program. I think that they're going to get the win here. I think Notre Dame, yes, they are a fantastic team. I think Notre Dame overall has more talent. They've played a more difficult schedule, and they've beaten better teams. But in this case, I think Iowa State, they played close to Oklahoma, so they know how to play in big games. But they're going to get the win here, 28-24. So yep, that's about it for my prediction on this one. Let me know your guys' thoughts, though, on this in your comments below. And let me know your score predictions as well. Do you think Notre Dame will be able to win, or do you think Iowa State's going to pull the upset? Of course, it could go either way. I would not be stunned at all to see Notre Dame win this one. Honestly, both teams are very, very talented. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Once again, stay tuned for more bowl previews coming up over the next couple days. Thank you guys all for watching once again, and I will see you all later.